Right, Justin, first game under our belts in a new era of the new Nuneaton Town. You yourself, watching on as a player / coach tonight, how do you think it went?
Yeah, listen, I think obviously result aside, it's not about results in pre-season, but I think in general the guys performed very well. Worked extremely hard for the first game, considering we've only had, I think, one session we've had together. And I think they should be proud of themselves out there tonight. We've seen some really good stuff. We saw some things we can work on, obviously, but that's what it's pre-season for. And I'm sure when I speak to the gaffers, Russ and Akko, and I'll fill them in on how well I think the guys did, and especially the young lads when they came on for the last 30 minutes. It's really good to see them coming on and getting some minutes under their belt as well.
Yeah, so you've only just met the players on Thursday on the first training session that they had. So how quickly do you think the lads have gelled and your relationship with the players?
Yeah, it's tough. I'll be honest, it's the first time in my career I think I've come into a team and no one knows anyone. Usually you come into a team and there's already a structure built and you just add in the one or two, aren't you? So yeah, it was a strange one, but I think like if you've watched that game today, considering the lads have only just known each other, still don't know their strengths, still don't know their weaknesses yet, and I think you've seen some really strong performances out there, and work rate was second to none. And listen, if we're being totally honest, I think apart from the last 20 minutes when we were a bit tired, I think we were well in the game. I think they scored 2 of their first 3 shots in the first half. And on another day, if we was a little bit better in the last third and maybe took a few more chances and maybe having a few more shots rather than trying to pass, possibly could have still scored a couple ourselves. So, listen, it's a good one to start with, I think. And I'm looking forward for the next 2 or 3 weeks once we develop and get fitter, the players get to know each other a bit better. I think we can have a really strong start based off that performance tonight.
Yeah, and again, going back to the fact that there's no prior relationship between the players. I mean, some of them have played at previous clubs together, but how did you go about delivering your pre-match message to the players when you kind of didn't know how you wanted to address them?
Yeah, listen, well, obviously I've known the lads just from Thursday, so I've had a rough idea of some of the lads and what their qualities were and stuff. And I think, like I said when I had the interview before, I think it's about people, knowing people and being able to manage people and stuff. So the message was simple: let's go out there, let's work our socks off for 60 minutes for some of the lads, for 90 minutes for the other lads. Be all and end all, it's about getting fit pre-season. The result isn't too much of an issue, but we still want to have that winning mentality. So if we do concede a goal, let's not get our heads down, let's treat it as a normal game, and showing that character to get back in the game, which we did today, I thought, which was fantastic. So and I think the lads will get to know us and we'll get to know them a bit better. We'll be able to speak to players and build confidence, and I think in another day we probably would have turned that around if that was the case. So I'm more than happy with the performance. I think me and Dale's just said in there, we couldn't have asked no more. They did exactly what we asked for them in the pre-match talk. The set plays were really good, and again the work rate off the ball was fantastic, and I think that will be something that will really help us next season if we want to win the league and get promoted.
And finally, let's touch on training. So Thursday we've got another session in before the Bedworth game on Saturday. So you've kind of had 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 30 minutes for some players on a 4G pitch after a lengthy spell of no games for some. But then training on a Thursday and a Tuesday, we're training on grass. So how do you think that's going to sort of alter the way in which we play? Because obviously the style that you want to implement is probably going to play differently on grass compared to 4G.
Yeah, listen, I think if we're being honest, non-league footballers, the surface shouldn't really matter to us, because if it is bad, we've played on that anyway. If it's good and it's a 4G, it's a bonus, really, isn't it? It should be no excuses if we want to pass the football. So I think throughout the season we probably will have to play the pitch sometimes with teams and stuff, but when we're going to be at home, we know we're playing on the 4G, 3G this year, we'll look to pass the football like we did today. I still think we can get better at doing that, but again, that will come with time and the players knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses, etc. So yeah, it's something to look forward to, definitely. So I'm excited.
Well, Justin, thank you for your time and all the best on Saturday.
Thank you very much. Speak soon.